This is Jelani, and with me as always are a guy who thinks Ren and Stimpy are way as
Is this the second time we use existential on him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
That is funny.
This is Jelani, and with me as always are a guy who thinks Ren and Stimpy are way as existential.
Still hard. Words is hard.
This is Jelani, and with me as always are a guy who thinks Ren and Stimpy are way existential.
Like exit.
Exit.
But exist.
Existential.
Yeah.
Welcome to our Film Fathers Podcast, the definitive podcast about fatherhood, film, and fatherhood in film. This is Jelani, and with me as always are a guy who thinks Ren and Stimpy are way existential, and the asshole from the fashionable male, Martin and Brady.
Dion and I were both named after famous singers of the past, who now do infomercials.
Bullshit. Eateries that operate within the designated square downstairs qualify as food court. Anything outside of said designated square is considered an autonomous unit for mid-mall snacking. Now, if you're going to wax intellectual about the subject...
This week, we're heading straight to the Beverly Hills High School hallway and to the mall to talk about two iconic teen flicks that defined a generation, Clueless and Mallrats. One gave us catchphrases and fashion, and the other dropped us into the grungy, comic book-obsessed world of slackers, stink palms, and Stan Lee cameos. But beyond the laughs and the outfits, they captured two sides of adolescence, preppy and polished versus messy and meta, and both left a lasting mark on pop culture. So grab your chokers, crank up the dial on your Discman, and prepare for a serious blast from the 90s past. Are you more of a Cher or a Brody?
Did you say Discman?
He did say Discman.
Discman? I was a Discman.
What'd you call me?
Discman.
Discman, yeah. No, it's Discman for sure.
I mean,
It's like a long A.
the French term.
Is that a long A? Short A? I'm not sure.
It's the Chicago way.
These were fun. I haven't watched either of these in a while.
Oh, same. For sure.
So it's been 30 years, right? They're both from 95?
Yeah, 95. That's quite some time ago.
I was very ready to come in and shit all over these movies.
Why?
I just never, growing up, this
You mean
wasn't...
before you watched them?
Well,
You've
I've seen them
before.
Or after you watched them?
Yeah.
I'm saying you said I was ready.
I was ready, because I was going to come in and watch them and be like, nah, none of this hit.
So
That's
what I'm asking. Before you rewatched them.
Yes,
Before you
before I
rewatched.
rewatched them.
That's what I'm trying to follow.
Yeah.
Just making sure that you watched them the first time because we never know with you.
This is true. But actually, I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them rewatching them again. Clueless is another one that Jen was reciting word for word, like line for line. She did not watch Mallrats with me. I don't think she would have liked it or wanted to revisit it.
But she's seen it, you think?
Possibly.
Yeah, Lindsay was like, you guys are doing Clueless? She's like, why would you want to do that? I'm like, because it's a great movie.
Well,
What's wrong with three middle-aged dads wanting to talk about Clueless?
I thought it sucked.
Oh, you thought it sucked.
Oh, so bad.
You prefer the Jane Austen novel?
Emma?
so that's what. Sorry, before
no.
we get to that, every time I was watching this, I'm like, this has to be an allegory for another story, right? And
Yeah.
I wrote down like Cyrano de Bergerac or My Fair Lady. I'm like, there's all these little elements, but it's
Emma. It's Emma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like they said it's like a almost a
Pretty
straight.
close. So I haven't read Emma, but I read just like a summary of it, and yeah, it's
Cliff
great. There's
Notes?
an Elton, and
There's literally an Elton.
and just like everything about the story, it ends with three relationships, which you have here as well. Not three marriages, maybe in Emma, but in this one, it's just they get together with the right people. It's almost exactly the same way. Like she fancies herself a matchmaker because she helps out like the Wallace Shawn and Miss Geist, who
Geist.
Brady, I'm sure, has a huge crush on. Big Miss Geist fan over here. But she does that and then thinks she can do that with everybody else. But like the Travis character is like a poor farmer or something like that is not quite up to the status that Cher or whoever Emma thinks is supposed to be there. But yeah, no, you hated it? Or it sucked, you said.
I haven't seen this probably since the 90s.
Yeah.
And man, I thought this was really rough to watch.
What part? Name a
pretty
part.
close start to
So
finish.
you didn't enjoy Alicia Silverstone at all,
She's just as it's
nor Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd's fine, but
It
like
wasn't Paul
he's-
Rudd.
right, it's so much. He's so much better now. Like
Yeah,
this is
right.
a shell of
I agree
himself.
with that.
Like at the time, I'm sure this was like, oh, this Paul Rudd's really going places. Well, now he's gone places, and I like him over there.
Yeah, that's true.
She was just annoying. The whole it just annoyed me. I just didn't dig it at all.
Wow.
So yeah, sorry. Jelani was ready to shit on them and liked them. I had no preconceived notions and was like, this is really not a good movie.
Did you enjoy the ska?
I did recognize the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Yeah.
On face value only, I was like, I know them. I know them for sure.
I love both songs that they played. They're great. Someday I Suppose and Where Did You Go?
Totally.
We used to listen to them all the time. So you guys weren't big like into third wave ska in 1995?
Not a big ska
No.
guy.
No,
from
you guys
Los
were all
Angeles.
into hip hop at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
95. So 95, I was just coming out of the grunge phase
Yeah.
because
Oh, I overlapped.
There was
Yeah.
Sublime on here too, I think.
Yeah.
No, Sublime was in Mallrats, sorry.
yeah, I was getting more into hip hop
Okay.
starting like 96, 97. I had a crush on a girl who was a big Green Day fan, so Green
Loved-
Day,
yeah.
Smashing
I mean,
Pumpkins.
yeah, I'm
Green Day.
moving. Yeah, I'm moving in Smashing Pumpkins, Tupac, Alice in Chains, Biggie. Like, yeah.
But I mean, we had good songs here, so good bands. So there was Beastie Boys, The Kids in America, what started it. There's a Counting Crow song in there. But the ones I liked were Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Radiohead, which is funny when she's like, Radiohead's playing in the background, and she's when she comes in and sees Josh, and he's like, "Is this what every college kid has to listen to, like music that you want to kill yourself to, or whatever?" She says. And then at the end of the movie, the Smoking Popes, the "Need You Around," I love that song too.
I what I read was that there's also the cover of "All by Myself" was sung by Jewel over a year before she actually became.
Before she had
anybody
her,
knew who she was. Who
I was Save Yourself. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was actually an early Jewel exposure.
It's not on the soundtrack though, as far as I see.
Yeah. She was a nobody.
Well, so speaking of music, there was all those elements of not all those elements. There's a couple of points when Brittany Murphy
Also super annoying.
would start to sing along. I think she could sing. Like she was.
Didn't she have like a song or something?
I don't know if she ever had a song, but you could hear it when she was like singing along to some of the songs or doing something like that. You're like, oh, that's somebody who has musical talent there, and they just didn't play it up in this at all. Yeah, like I said, it was better than. Now I'm back in the Brady camp.
I like Brittany Murphy a lot more in 8 Mile than
8
I
Mile.
did in this. She was really awful to like just have to suffer through for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It does say American actress and singer, so she had, but it's like from Happy Feet or something. But I don't know. There are a few things here.
Maybe she just could carry a tune.
Yeah, I think
Nobody does it better.
There was one person I didn't mind from this movie.
Dion?
Stacey Dash.
Is it? Yes. That's a good call. See,
yeah.
I knew there was a bright spot somewhere in there
Yep.
for you.
Nope, that's if I remembered one thing from this movie. Yeah, and Donald Faison, like just over the top,
way over the top.
done. Like I don't know.
Better in Scrubs.
I just think
Did you guys watch Scrubs?
I watched Scrubs.
some
Scrubs was-
definitely
it was
not
great.
a religious watch for
Well,
me.
if you like Shrinking now, and that's the same.
Bill Lawrence.
Yeah, the Lawrence creator. I mean, you probably can't go back. now
Probably
and
not
watch
going
Scrubs.
back. Yeah. I think I'm done with Zach Braff.
McGinley might hold you.
Yeah,
McGinley-
that's really what it is.
Right.
Johnny C is awesome in it.
Yeah,
Very
I
funny.
don't doubt that one bit.
Yeah. So that might hold it. Just in the same way you like. Wait, did you say McGinley?
Yeah.
It's John C.
Ted McGinley.
Ted
in Shrinking.
McGinley.
And Shrinking.
And John C.
John
McGinley.
C.
Yes,
McGinley,
right.
yeah.
Okay. God, we did
Not
this already.
related.
I feel like deja vu. We talked about this already, but yes, Johnny
Definitely.
C. McGinley.
Yeah.
And yeah, and in this both Bill Lawrence shows. So all right, there we go. But anyway,
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, it just was. I was good. I'm good leaving this one.
Massive
alone.
movie, though.
Oh,
Massive influence.
no doubt.
Yeah.
Amy Heckerling, do you guys know her?
I actually looked her up because I didn't know the name, and I'm like, damn, this girl. Because I was like, what happened to this? This girl?
Yeah.
I don't know much about her, but she actually did a bunch of movies.
Yeah,
And then kind of
Fast Times at Ridgemont High is so it's like
European
she did,
Vacation.
but she did, but
Yes,
with
Fast Times was first.
With Fast Times it was a huge, just a big movie for the 80s, right?
Yeah.
That defined a lot of what people thought about for the 80s as well. And then this one did it again. So to do it, I don't know, a decade later,
Yeah.
and to get, I don't know how much of the lingo she actually got down. I think things came from this. They weren't actually things that were said, like, I don't know, the Monet and whatever else that they tried to make work.
As
Like they
if.
tried to make fetch happen. Yeah, as if.
As if
As
was-
if definitely became a thing.
That was
right?
fetch.
Right, very much so.
So I don't know. I think it's impressive that that she could do that.
I don't
twice.
discount that this was like a big deal. This one's not for me. And I don't even think I'm supposed to be. It's supposed
not-
to be
it's not
for
for-
me.
yeah, it's not for you.
To Lindsay's point, like you guys are going to watch this.
She'll be happy that you guys did not enjoy it.
Yeah, like you said, this is for a different demographic. This is probably hits real hard.
You said Jen knows all the words.
And
Lindsay loved it too. Like
Yeah.
she's like, I loved it when I was in high school for sure, but she just was surprised that we would be excited to watch it, which I was. But you
And
guys,
which
were.
one of you were?
Yeah, right. She was right. She's
I
always
also
right.
think because, again, we've talked about this. I didn't have older siblings,
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't. 95. I was in 8th grade, so I wasn't in high school yet, and this wasn't like I didn't resonate with any of the stuff that's going on. So I think for me, the high school films that I probably would gravitate more were like Can't Hardly Wait, American Pie, like that.
those were later. That was in '99,
Right.
So like 4
So
years later,
Closer
yeah.
to his
Closer
actual
to
high
me
school.
being
Yeah,
in high school.
right. That's true.
And I was like a sophomore when this was
And you're
out,
younger
so-
too.
Right.
I always forget
I'm the
that.
baby.
Yeah, just this one to me is a high school movie that was real popular, aimed at a different audience than me, and I'm sure I didn't dislike it as much as I do right now when I was younger. But rewatching it did not. This is one of those that doesn't hold up and doesn't play for. I would not encourage people to watch this movie.
So Mallrats?
Love the hell out of Mallrats. So
Do you really?
Oh my god,
Okay,
I
nice.
absolutely. I have loved that movie since the first time I saw it.
Snoochie Boochies.
Pretty sure, and it's very
Nothing
little
to do with Jay and Silent
Silent
Bob,
Bob. It's Jason Lee.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
Jason Lee is.
Brody.
day.
Brody is
I mean,
hilarious.
I don't know that I'm giving him the Tonight Show, but he is. It was one of those where it's like this guy can do no wrong. Like he's the attitude and wit that I want. And
Did you
and
follow him
everything.
through to Earl?
I watched a little bit of Earl.
That was not a good show.
no.
I wanted to. No, I wanted to like
He's
it.
not. It shouldn't. He's not a network guy. He needs to be.
It had
in a-
Ethan
Suplee.
Suplee.
Is it Suplee?
I don't know how
I
to say
pronounce
it.
it supple.
I was going to say Suplee, but whatever. Screw you
J.E.
guys.
Presley was the big winner in that show because she's the
probably.
one that got she got like nominated.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
And the Office Max guy.
Oh yeah,
Office Guy.
Daryl, Crabman.
Yeah, he didn't watch the show. So.
Oh.
But
Yeah,
I watched a little bit of it. But I gave it like a longer shot than I should have because I didn't enjoy really the first 7 or
okay.
8 episodes. But then I kept
Darnell
going. I'm
Turner?
like, it's gonna get better, but it never really did.
yeah. No,
Nadine Velasquez. That's
What's
what
that?
I watched.
What's up?
She was also on the show.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
oh,
Now Brady's going back and watching that one.
okay. Oh yeah, I know her. From things.
But
Flight.
But
Yes.
yeah, I loved. I mean, this movie just was very cool. When I wanted to know it, Kevin Smith was
Yeah,
awesome because the Clerks had a big. His first movie was very big, and then this one came out, which was
I
much
saw this
bigger
before
budget.
Clerks.
I think I can't really say. I'm pretty sure I saw Clerks before it, but
You probably would have.
yeah. But it was right around the same time. So I just remember both, and I love Chasing Amy, the one that came after it too. But Mallrats was just for Brody, and just the we didn't really have a lot of like clever. I felt it was a lot very clever dialogue when I was
Yeah.
13, 14.
This feels like what I would have thought was like as good, as well written of a movie. I almost butchered the phrasing of talking about the writing. It feels like it just doesn't let up. It's just Brody. Everyone's funny. There's just lines left and right. There's a whole lot of ball busting. What I did not remember for the life of me, and I bet I've seen this a dozen times. The opening credits and song, did not remember the comic thing in the least. I don't know how, if I just skipped that or what, but I was
What
watching.
was the song?
I don't remember the song, but it was just the whole, like literally every character was like a comic
Yes.
drawn, and I'm like, I don't remember any of this, like none of it. So sure it was there, but
I know it ends with Weezer's Suzanne.
yeah,
Which I do like that
and
song.
the monkey.
It says Squirt Gun Social opens.
Totally.
And then there's Wax's Mallrats. But yeah, I remember liking the soundtrack to this one as well. For the Weezer, for the Sublime, Smoke Two Joints. Loved that. I love 40 Ounces of Freedom. It's one of my favorite albums. I don't know if you guys are fans. No?
I'm
Okay.
less of a Weezer fan than you're gonna.
No,
like.
not Weezer. It's
Sublime.
Sublime.
Oh, sorry, both.
Less of a Sublime. Less of a Sublime. I mean, I'm not a huge Weezer
Sublime's
fan.
your ska
Yeah,
territory.
it's it's a little bit of ska.
Again, yeah, not entirely, but they're dipping their toe.
Yeah, for sure. A little more dub, if you will.
Totally.
A little more reggae
That's what I was
dub.
gonna say. Actually,
This is our Out Cold London, right?
No.
Jeremy?
this is the brother.
Oh, this is Jason. Jason is Out Cold?
Shut up. I thought it was the same guy. I know there's brothers, but
I'm pretty confident that it's opposite. Sorry,
so
different.
funny.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if he's right. Out Cold has Jason London.
Yeah. So this is the brother.
This is Jeremy.
Jeremy is Mallrats.
I mean, they
I
really are
found
twins.
this out in the past because I thought for sure it had to be
Who's in Dazed and Confused?
Jason.
Out Cold.
Yeah.
Because Joey Lauren Adams is essentially with both of them in different movies. So she's with Jeremy in this one, not really, but in the past, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she dates Jason in Dazed and Confused.
You're right. Yeah, Jason Randall Pink Floyd. So funny. I mean,
They
really are twins.
are much more twin-like than you and your twin.
Identical, not fraternal. Ben Affleck.
Also, Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, also Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. Shannon. He's quite hateable.
Yeah. Very much so.
Plays it really well.
And also must have just fell in with Kevin Smith early
Yeah.
because he's been in a ton of Kevin Smith stuff.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Why do you think? I'm sure it's probably because of money and opportunities now, but why do you think there haven't been like another pack? Like we talked, we did the Breakfast Club a couple
Brat Pack.
Brat Pack. Like just have a group of actors that
They
you're
ran
like,
out of names.
Ran out of
can't have a
pack
cool
names.
nickname.
Maybe like a crack pack. We get a bunch for some people who just
Everybody from The Wire.
they just lose it all. They just go down a spiral downward fast.
But yeah, because like you said,
I feel like
Affleck,
we
Smith,
had
and
the
Kevin
we
Smith.
had the Apatow
Yeah,
crew.
there you go. That's a little. That's a. It's a
It's a
little
bit of a pack.
It's a bit, yeah.
No,
They just didn't like the label, but yeah, they were.
So
fun.
what would you put? You'd put
They were funny people.
Russ.
Super
Seagull.
Bad and
Oh.
Seagull and
Yeah, Jonah Hill's in there.
Jonah
John Hill, Rogan.
If you touched in that Apatow run, yeah,
I mean it had branches
That's
that kind of went out.
tentacles even.
It's like tentacles, yeah.
Because like you said,
Like that Yacht Rock documentary. Have you guys watched that?
I haven't.
Not yet.
Heard good things though.
It's so good. It's what did they talk
Someone
about?
was just talking about it today at work. I kid you not.
Yeah,
it's all from Michael McDonald.
It is. He's like the Godfather.
Yeah.
And for sure because he guest sang on a lot of things, and wrote songs with a bunch of the people. So like he kind of ties a lot of it together. But there are tentacles or
Like a rug?
things that went out. He tied the room together. So yeah, like that with the Apatow crew. But yeah, I don't know. Kevin Smith had a
Because he
bit
tries.
of that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, with Chasing Amy, with Dogma, with...
I
he
mean,
brings
nobody
a lot
knew any of
people
these
back.
people, right? When this movie came out.
No,
Mallrats?
Shannon Doherty was
She was the
known
biggest name, yeah.
for sure.
Have we seen Claire Forlani in anything?
No, I think this is pretty early for her as well.
Have I seen her in
She
anything
hadn't been
since?
in Meet
No,
Joe
before
Black
that.
yet.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I think looking back, and I remember I loved her when this movie came out, but
Oh, yeah.
I was, hard pressed to find someone I like more in a movie. I think I thought she was at her peak there.
I don't disagree with you.
See, and I knew her from The Rock the year later.
She was in The Rock.
She's Sean Connery's daughter.
Oh yeah, that's
So.
right.
That's where I first saw her. But yeah,
96. But yeah, I mean, there's some things looking back in this movie, but we don't have to go there.
No.
It was just funny. Yeah, Brody for sure. And I mean, they had to look down, right? His corduroy jacket, his airwalks,
Just the way
baggy
his
jeans,
whole the way he carried himself too. Like it was just
carrying around a small little Dixie cup that he tries to get
Coke,
refilled with Coke.
no ice.
Can you fill this with Coke? No ice.
He is like the coolest, not cool
Right.
person.
Coolest loser,
Right.
coolest mall rat there is.
Yeah, right. Like I guess to label it correctly, but he feels at home there, and that's where legit like where he wants to spend all of his time, even to the point that he's well known in the dirt mall on the other side of town. But he is undeniable, and in the way they use him, like his wit is off the charts, even in the beginning when he's laying in bed in Hartford, the whale, like that stuff. That line has been in my head since 1995.
yeah.
I always say the escalator line.
Oh,
Like that kid is back on the escalator. There's not a year that goes by. Not a year. And people look at me like, what are you talking about?
yeah. And then
'Cause I'm around the wrong people.
the best part is then in the background you hear
Yeah.
somebody, there's a kid on the escalator. You know? The Shannon Doherty thing, I think, was a prisoner of the moment situation. She's probably not the best person you want for the role, but she was an
Right.
it girl at the time.
I don't even think it was more like a comeback, I think, for her, no? Or was she
95.
full-
I think this
I was
is
gonna say
right in the heart of it.
Yeah, 90210.
When did it end? When
I bet it's after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's probably at the peak.
Yeah, I think this is her.
Right,
She's
it's over already.
billed number one.
Yeah, no, I know that, but
I don't think it was over.
1990, it doesn't 10 seasons, so yeah, you guys are right.
Well, that would have veered. They
Is
were
that
only
right?
they were
So
only
2000?
They were only in high school for so long.
Well, no, but
No,
yeah,
they,
but
they dip
she,
into more kids. More
I was
going to
say, wasn't she one of the ones that like
She left earlier.
she
than
left
some.
early
Yeah.
because she was like, I've reached a peak. I'm gonna leave this show while it's hot, strike, and then start going into
She
movies.
didn't do anything else, though, right?
111 episodes she was in.
The bulk of the series.
Well, no, she went on to Charmed after this.
Oh, okay.
So-
I didn't watch that.
Meaning,
It hit syndication though, and so that syndication money pays well. You don't got to do a whole lot.
is she alive? I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure she passed.
Did
She did 2024.
Yeah.
Oh
It
no.
was recent. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Wow.
But yeah, no, I guess you're right. I guess it was still. I just don't remember anyone being like, "Yeah, I'm going to see Mallrats for Shannon Doherty," but they got the name, and this was before Stan Lee.
Did
like-
the camo before the
cameos,
MC.
before the
Yeah.
before the
MCU.
MCU. So that was interesting. I mean, Kevin Smith was ahead of the curve on a lot of stuff because he was a huge Star Wars fan. Obviously, had all these Star Wars references, but the world wasn't like Star Wars crazy at all
Right.
in '95 because we hadn't had the prequels yet. And that was a few years later where it kind of like reignited for a lot of people. It
When
was
did
still
they-
kind of like a dorky thing.
I was
like
gonna say,
Star
when
Wars.
did they re-release them?
Right before
Because
the prequels came out,
okay,
where they did the whole like remastering. And
Remastering.
I have that somewhere here, the
Yeah.
VHS in the gold box with the Darth Vader helmet.
right? Because I think that's when it really started to kind of kick off, and then they remastered them, brought them back to the theaters, and then they said, "All right, now we're going to bring out the prequels." But yeah, like you said, he was ahead of the curve with that, with also his love of comic books,
Uh-huh.
and like
Yeah.
talking about like Wolverine and doing all that stuff, and like Nobody was talking about
No,
Wolverine.
nobody was doing Berserker,
Right.
And that's why he had to explain it in the movie when he's like he's doing the adamantium claw attack. It's like, yeah, that was super dorky at the time. I didn't
Right.
know about it.
It's so funny.
Even though
because,
I'm
shall I
not
call
sure.
you Logan?
Right.
Like that's
Yeah.
that stuff.
And now everyone's like, yeah, of course. Like, I know what
Logan.
you're saying.
Yeah, I saw that movie. It's Wolverine's.
But in '95, it was very much, yeah. He's like, just because a guy reads comics doesn't mean you
can't start some
can't
shit.
start some shit.
His homages to Batman and throughout the whole thing, right? So yeah, deep in the comic book game with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right, Brady. The character that drives the entire film is Brody, and just all the stuff, all the, like you said, all the witty quips. You know, you mentioned.
You mean
it in
like
the
fucking? Making whoopee.
It's nonstop. I mean, they're not even like all necessarily like one liners. And I know I was looking up a bunch of the quotes. Like, there's a lot of like soliloquies. He's
Yeah.
like going on and
Yeah.
giving rants. And,
bit of a rant, yeah.
and it's, but you can't take your eyes off of him, and you can't. When I saw him, I was like, dude, this guy's a legend. Like this he is gonna be the thing.
Brady based his whole life around trying to be Brody.
Brady.
Just turn a couple letters around.
He's fantastic. And it's like, yeah, the London twin is just, he's there. That's fine.
He's in, or I guess not just him because it's his brother too, but they're in a lot of really, really good movies I love, but it's not because of them. They're fine.
Right.
And they are very good looking, but yeah, they're just like
very good looking.
passable actors. But yeah, between Out Cold, Dazed and Confused, and Mallrats, I mean, you got some really great comedies in my opinion.
Yeah. How could you argue with what's there? Yeah, you said you love some Claire Forlani. Joey Lauren Adams. I'm in. I'm a fan. Day one.
That too.
Big
yeah.
Daddy.
I was gonna say going up to Big Daddy,
Chasing Amy. Have you guys seen Chasing Amy too?
Definitely.
finger cuffs.
Yeah.
I have somebody's copy. Their
Not mine.
DVD somewhere. Definitely saw that. And she felt.
I love that movie too. I feel like it kind of threw people for a loop because it wasn't like Clerks. It wasn't like
right.
like Mallrats. But Kevin Smith says that a lot of people will really come up to him and say they really enjoy that movie too. Anyway,
and I don't know all of them, but I know that there's a lot of correlation and references in the Kevin Smith zeitgeist and the View Askew-universe, I think I saw, is there's a lot of like references to certain things that are happening. My Cousin Walter story, like there's another. That's in Clerks too. There's another guy who has a cousin Walter. So like, are those two actual cousins then? Because
Gil Hicks, I think
Gil Hicks,
Dante Hicks,
correct.
right in Clerks, yeah. Is that his brother or something? But there's a thread of some things and some Easter eggs and stuff like that.
The girl who Brandy replaced in the game show is Julie Dwyer, who died from an embolism from swimming. And in Clerks, they said they're seen attending Julie's wake, at which Randall knocks over the casket, and he and Dante have to flee from the funeral parlor. So, like, those things are all little loose tie-ins that you can connect without ruining. It's like the stories don't necessarily have to overlap, but they're all talking about the same things that are happening in the world. Brandy's dad,
Michael Rooker?
yeah.
Did not remember he was in this.
Oh, I totally remembered him.
The pretzels, the chocolate pretzels.
I got this nauseous.
Stink Palm?
Stink Palm.
What do you know Michael Rooker from?
Oh, what don't I know Michael Rooker from?
No, but there's
Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer?
for me. There's the first I can for sure.
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder. Rowdy Burns.
Yeah. And then
James Gunn. He's a big James Gunn guy.
He's in Suicide
Yeah.
Squad.
Well,
Right?
Suicide Squad,
He's
he's
in
in
Slither. I think.
Slither.
Yeah.
He's in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Days
he's
of Thunder,
also,
JFK, Cliffhanger,
he's also
Tombstone.
in
Cliffhanger.
The Walking Dead. He's like the first in the first season of it.
I think Cliffhanger might be the big one.
Tombstone.
I forgot about Cliffhanger. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a working actor. He gets out there.
That's all before Mallrats, but
Listen, you gotta work.
Tombstone's before Mallrats. What year was Tombstone?
94?
Tombstone is 93.
93.
Close enough.
Bone
Horseshoes and
Collector.
hand grenades.
He's in the Bone Collector too.
Captain Howard Chaney.
But yeah, the stink palm and the chocolate covered pretzels, just I was ready to go vomit.
It didn't bother me.
No, it shouldn't make you want to vomit.
It was very funny.
Hilarious. It's like, yeah, but then you have to walk around all day with your own hand.
It's
Small
one
price
of the
to
funniest
pay.
things when he shows it, and then he whatever his name walks away, and then he
TS.
TS walks away. He smells his palm, takes some of the pretzels, and then just kind of walks away. He's like plotting it out what he's going to do, how he's going to get it off.
Small price to pay for smiting of one of his own enemies. I love it. Then that's when he realizes that he can just go do it himself.
Do you think Kevin Smith's ever actually done that to somebody, or
Right? Like where it came
in real
from.
life has anyone done stink palmed anybody?
Yes.
Yeah,
Especially after this movie came out.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess I'm saying before this movie.
Oh yeah,
It existed somewhere. I don't
it's
think
like Poo Dollar.
Well, poo dollar doesn't require you to stick your hand in your ass.
No, but it does require you to put poo on $1.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that.
I don't-
It's
I
not
don't-
a problem.
I just don't like that people use poo.
I mean, I wouldn't. I haven't
Just
done
say
it. I
shit
wouldn't
or
do
poop.
It. But that's what it's called, a poo dollar. He's just using the proper term.
I'm just saying.
Nobody calls it Poop Dollar.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
it's
should.
just too hard to say. Poo dollar flows.
It's exhausting.
It flows right out of the sphincter.
Called the shit poo. A running of sorts. I referenced it earlier, but like the post credits, or not even really post credits, it was more like pre credits post movie, of like where they were
Where they ended up.
where they were ended up. Yeah, the Tonight Show feels like a big leap.
Very
We
big.
saw you at a mall, and we benched Carson.
And it wasn't the funniest joke that could have been made there. There could have been a better something, right?
I think so.
And he could have looked.
I would have had
different instead of-
the girl with the third nipple would have been like working alongside of him somewhere.
something. Yes, there was a lot of better jokes to be made for a movie that I think nailed most of their jokes. That was like, okay.
Oh, you have a third nipple? What are you talking about? His exasperated yell is just like a
Second to none.
pure gold.
Yeah.
Both of the films that we talked about just kind of brush
Films? Do we call these films?
movies, things, brush the underage romance like under the table. They're just like, don't worry about that.
I mean, they kind of did, and then at
In
the end he gets
Mallrats, they
arrested
did.
for it. At the end, but it's like also she's writing a book
And they
and
show,
she says she gets consent from everybody.
Yeah.
but then
you're
they
not
also
getting age consent.
they show the security guard with her again.
Tell me you wouldn't adopt her. That's what Affleck says.
Oh yeah, right. Wait, what security guard? What are you talking about?
LaFleur's.
The LaFleurs.
He's guarding her at her book tour.
Oh right, okay.
but
Not with her. I think the
No.
phrasing there was
they were together
It's LaFours, by the way, guys.
while
LaFleur.
at the Easter egg, the bunny thing. You see him pop up with no shirt on, and then you see a hand reach up and grab him and pull him back down.
Oh, I think I missed that.
I did too.
That's why he's at the book tour at the end.
I just figured he was her security.
No. She
He's
enticed
in the
him.
book.
Right, he's in the book. She enticed him.
I don't know that I picked up on that at all.
Oh, yeah.
I might have to rewatch this.
This is Trish. They call her Trish the Dish.
Trish. the
Nobody calls her
Dish.
that.
But then, in Mallrats, or not Mallrats, and Clueless, like, Paul Rudd had to be, what, 21, 22? He was in law school, right?
Or
Yeah.
he was eventually going to go. One of those.
Oh, you're
Maybe
saying
pre-law.
Or pre-law?
so he could have been 18, but 18 and 16. You're saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
She
like,
could have been 18.
No, she was 16.
She was 16. She
definitely
hadn't
said it
got
at
her
the
license yet.
Yeah. You don't need to get your license at 16. You just can't get it.
But she definitely says it
Yeah.
for a 16-year-old. I was like, oh yeah, I thought you were a little older. You're
Yeah,
right.
that's fair.
And I mean, that's the one thing that we didn't talk about. But I think everyone was shocked when they got together at the end of this movie. When I first saw it, because I was like, "That is your brother." I know they said a few times, like, "You're not my brother." And, they were only together for a short time, but it's like it was very much implied that they were a brother sister kind of relationship.
There's a whole
So,
cottage industry about that, Martin. it's
really
big
is. It
business.
pops up every time.
It's big business.
First and foremost.
Yeah. That movie's terrible. The audacity of this this subject matter.
But yeah,
But you guys didn't have crushes on Alicia Silverstone from Crazy and Amazing, the Aerosmith videos, and then The Crush with Carrie Elways,
I remember that more.
where she plays the crazy. It's
Like
more
the
like a Fatal
stalker.
Attraction.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a Liv Tyler guy.
You're more Liv Tyler.
No.
At that point,
Empire Records. That was 95 too, wasn't it?
was it?
That was
I think so.
95 or 96.
Yeah, right around the same.
Joey Lauren Adams again.
The other one, The Crush
She
with
died.
Carrie Elwes. I definitely remember that one and saw that one, I think, more. Not saying it's a better movie, but I think to your point, it's the Fatal Attraction for the new age.
Yes. Yeah, which they've done, probably done a few
Although I
different
never saw
times,
Fatal
different
Attraction,
ways.
so I don't know if it's also like an age thing, because that was the big deal with The Crush, was it was cross again. All these movies just were flirting with this huge age
Fatal
discrepancy.
Attraction now was normal. It was
Adults.
Michael Douglas and Glenn Close. Yeah, but so you're okay. Not Alicia. Liv Tyler over Alicia. Gotcha.
Alicia
All right,
was the ditziness
but you don't.
doesn't
You don't
Didn't
like
help.
wasn't
You
making
don't like
me
the Valley Girl thing,
enjoy-
or yeah,
no.
she's not a Valley Girl. She's
Isn't she though?
as if.
No, Stacey Dash. Come on, for days until
Right.
like the last 5 years.
until recently. As always, be fair. Everyone wants Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And you should want to subscribe to our Film Fathers podcast so you can listen to us when you're out at the mall. Thanks, and go to bed. And you should want to subscribe to our Film Fathers. Nah.
Existential.